love that.
I, I love doing that randomly. Forgive me. It's expected. I'll just say that expected. Nonetheless, welcome back, everybody. Segment two. My name is Irie Harris. I am joined by Sapphire Blue
Ticka, 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 ticka.
and our special guest Willie Epting Jr. Long time no see. Being sarcastic, that was 7 days ago. How is everybody?
Good, good, good.
Oh my gosh, y'all are too funny.
Now we got a lot to get into within this segment right now. The NFL schedules have been unveiled. So a lot to dive into right now, particularly within the strength of schedule. Now, per Yahoo Sports, Fox Sports, NFL.com, amongst hardest schedules right now, strength of schedule, and keep in mind, is really taken by the total winning percentage combined of the teams on the schedule that they performed the previous season. So
Oh,
within that sense, the Giants have the hardest strength of schedule right now. That means teams on their schedule won around 57% of their games in 2024. The Bears and Lions are tied for second right there, 571. You followed by the Eagles, Cowboys, Packers, Vikings, all among 55% and up. And as far as the easiest schedule, it suddenly would be the 49ers, in which their teams won 41.5% of the games the previous season. Sapphire, what are the Giants doing?
listen, that's a tough question.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so blunt, but like, what is this culture? What is this foundation? What are these decisions?
You know what? Your guess is as good as mine because I have a sensitive subject. I'm a sensitive. Let me say that I'm sensitive because Brian Dable used to be the Browns OC. So I got too much distraction and stuff in my head. You tell me what's going on with the Giants.
Well, before I do, let me pay these bills right quick.
There you go.
Lake Crest Casino and Hotel. Are you looking for a relaxing getaway where you can play all day and escape the tedious grind of life? Then plan your getaway today at Lake Crest Casino and Hotel, Armore's premier gaming destination, and let the winning begin. Featuring more than 1,000 of the latest games, plus an array of amenities, including an incredible restaurant, exceptional retail experiences, and a resort-style pool. Lakecrest offers everything you need for an unforgettable escape and a winning experience. Book your stay today and go all in on one of the area's most exciting destinations, Lakecrest Casino and Hotel. Visit lakecrestcasino.com. That's lakecrestcasino.com. Back to your question, Sapphire. I,
Yes,
I
please.
think there are a number of things happening within the front office that are quite skeptical. Obviously, you can bring up probably the most popular, most recent decision right now regarding just letting Saquon go to Philadelphia for a cheesesteak from Angelo's because that's really what
Right.
I'm on a roll tonight, aren't I?
You are on a roll. You are. And you know what? It had to hurt them. You saw that clip on X where he's benching or squatting, I should say. It looked like about 600 pounds.
It,
Like you got to add that up in there.
it
hmm
indeed on that. And well, while speaking of the Giants, only because it has been a while, this is a little bit more of one of the intriguing SA teams within the NFC, just off of what they're bringing roster wise. Easily, we can speak within the quarterback room right now. For those that don't remember, they brought along two former AFC North QBs and Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. And within the draft, their 23rd pick, I believe it was, they draft Jackson Dar out of Ole Miss. How do we feel so far, just at the moment, just regarding not even with the entire roster, but just the decisions within the quarterback room right now, with an aging Wilson, somebody that we saw on the up and down within Pittsburgh, Winston, somebody who really is a preacher comedian, a combo kind of person, bringing his talents to East Rutherford, and then the young Dart, who's got a cannon and led arguably the best offense in college football. Just off of that alone, do we feel confident within the direction of the decisions made by the Giants front office?
Is that for me?
Please,
Oh, okay.
free for
Um,
all. Take up whatever you feel.
all right, I'm gonna get in where I fit in. Okay, so the Giants have three quarterbacks in their room which is one less than
Oh boy.
the team that you guys cheer for.
Here we go.
Oh
Parting shot
man.
there, shots fired.
Yes.
But
Yes.
to answer your question, I don't know what the heck they are doing. And I don't really understand why they have the league's toughest schedule because they finished in last place last year. It can't be because of the division, because the Cowboys were under 500. I guess because the Philadelphia Eagles won the whole freaking thing. But that would be the only reason why I could see why they slated them with the toughest schedule. Um, I and I think the Giants are actually going to be better than people think because they do have leadership and experience. Well, I don't know about the leadership. Well, they got the leadership in the room with Jameis Winston, and they have the experience, the Super Bowl experience in the room with Russell Wilson. Um, Jackson Dart is probably a year or two away. And remember, the Giants traded up to get that dude. So that was a little bit of a mystery to me. They've got some decent weapons on the outside with Malik Neighbors and, of course, Slayton and the other kid who I can't think. I think his name is Wandale Robinson or something like that.
Right.
So I think their defense is going to be. Let me put it this way: their defense has a lot of great names on it. Now, is their performance going to match up with their names? That is yet to be seen. They got they picked up Abdul Carter right in the draft.
Painful.
They did.
Just painful.
And I have Kayvon Thibodeau on the other side. They've got Brian Burns, so they've got some stars on defense. That's why I think they're going to be a little bit better than people think.
I mean, I would agree with that. My issue with this whole thing is why do we have to wait until after the draft to get the schedule?
That is a good question. It's something.
It seems like to me the teams that made out on the better side of the draft are the ones that have the more difficult schedule. That's just the conspiracy theorist in me, gentlemen. But I wonder why. I wonder why we have to wait.
I wonder. Well, giving out to our Fear the North podcast that takes place during the NFL season. For those that would like to go check that out, I'm sure you can find it within X and on the internet. Furthermore, within that, now Saphyr, the 4 teams in the AFC North: Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh. All 4 are within the top 15 in strength of schedule.
Yeah.
Not like just opening thoughts within that and impressions, not just to who they're scheduled to play against, but more so the toughness consistently of this division to where it's that much strength in playing each other.
Okay, so roll with me. Outside of the original curse, Adam and Eve. Here we go again. Here we go again. As a die-hard Browns fan, I'm also looking at the fact that we face all 3 division foes in the first 6 weeks of the season. I don't know how else you could define extremely imposing challenge. And that we have how many quarterbacks down there in Berea, right?
Technically 5, if you still want to count
Deshaun.
If you want to, because he still is on the team. But as far as contention for playing time in the field, it's 4.
And then, all up in the corners, as they say, we've got the Packers at home on week 3. We've got the Lions at Detroit week 4. And then we got to go across the pond, okay, to play the Vikings in London. I just, and who is still the coach, head coach of this team? Father God. Please, y'all. Somebody say something to me. Please.
Something.
Thank you. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare.
Well, I mean, what is? Can you go further with them? What is the nightmare of it? Because we have nightmares. Everybody has nightmares. But what is your nightmare? Can you talk about that with us, please, if possible?
My nightmare is that it's going to be Groundhog's Day, and we're going to be 1-7 again at week 8. Did I define Did I give you my definition of nightmare?
You did.
Hey
Thank you.
guys, real quick, let me cut in real quick. I got to give a shout out to the big homie from the hashtag Brothers of Baseball show, Cincinnati Reds catcher Jose Trevino. He's actually watching us on
Nice.
Instagram TV right now. What up, Jose? Still praying for a injury-free season for you guys. And you know I got to get you back on the show, man. What's up?
Hola,
All right,
Jose. Hola.
Salute. Thank you for tuning in. We appreciate your support. Thank you to everybody tuning in right now. And thank you for the continued support. You know, we do this for y'all. We make sure to give you guys the best content possible and improve further up because we we only go as far up as high as we want to. So we keep that in mind every week. Now, furthering and going back, did you guys watch any of the? And that's I think that kind of answers your question from earlier, Sapphire, regarding why we don't find out about the schedule until now, because it gives social admins time to be creative and deliver the info schedules in a very creative and directive way. Sometimes with a theme, sometimes in their own sense of mind. Did you guys watch any of the NFL schedule release videos Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern? Did you guys like any of them?
it was very cheesy to me. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It was kind of cheesy, and I got better things to do with my time than to than to watch a bunch of bots running around on a AI field and no, I didn't.
Well, I don't believe. Well, let me answer just segue right quick. Did anybody watch the Indianapolis Colts segment?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. I can't blame you guys neither because the Colts did have to make an apology to Tyreek Hill from the Miami Dolphins for their schedule release video relating to Microsoft and to the game Minecraft. There was an animation early on, in which because Indianapolis, their season opener is versus Miami, and they poked fun at Hill's arrest. If you remember back to
Oh,
last year's Week
man.
1, when he was arrested, had the conversation with the Miami-Dade Police Department, let him
Wow.
being handcuffed and on the ground. We know eventually he would be let go and be able to still play in that game, and which was important because he scored a touchdown that helped them win. But they did issue a statement regarding, apologies for that. Really, within the animation, it was weird, like because they had him like they had a dolphin with Tyreek Hill's jersey on because Miami Dolphins, but then he was being stopped by U.S. Coast Guard, but with like a blaring siren. The post was quickly deleted. I know, like it sound like it's so stupid that it's funny.
Those are usually the funniest things, the ones that are stupid.
Exactly. When I first saw it, like my eyes got a little wide because I understood the reference quickly. But I'm thinking, like I suddenly chuckled a bit just because it was so stupid that I found it a little funny. But thoughts within another NFL team's
Absolutely.
social admin poking fun at the arrest of another player that they're meeting Week 1. What does that say to you guys, just regarding the state of these social admins and anything being free, fair game in the mindset of some of these people behind the admins?
I mean, I think to your point, we're at sort of the precipice of another cultural shift. Like all of this behavior has been normalized. I see a correlation between that and what Coach Obrecht's son did, right? And
Mm.
so you go ahead and you do things that in your heart are not appropriate, and then you rationalize it by saying, okay, well, we apologize. And then you get all your crisis management people to craft statements to smooth things over. But I submit to you, gentlemen, this is the new norm. To your point, Irie, everything is fair game.
Willie, any thoughts within this?
I'm fatigued on it, and I do agree with you, Sapphire, that it is a bit of a shift. But you know what? It's gonna be what it's gonna be until it's not that anymore.
Yeah.
Understandable.
One other
Now,
quick comment, guys. From Jose, he says, "Willie, I see your background. I miss the Coliseum.
Oh.
That
we
place
gotta
is
have We got to have you on the show, man. Talk about some Coliseum memories, man. I love watching the Coliseum growing up, man. Oh, what a time.
And shout out to the Real to Goonsy TV.
There you go.
Shout out. Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
The big homie.
Thank you. So very, very, very much appreciated. Well, speaking about, the Coliseum, or at least what we know relating to the Bay Area, let's move on to San Francisco 49ers. Because they have the lowest strength of schedule. As I said earlier, 41.5% of games were won by their opponents in 2024. The 49ers are a team in an interesting spot right now. I think we are starting to understand and see the, how do I put it? The actual stability and skill set regarding quarterback Brock Purdy. And while he does have competition of Mac Jones, this is a team that somehow fell off the rocks and finished last in the NFC West. There have been moves made. Some guys still staying, some guys rehabbing. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, Juwan Jennings, guys are still there. Deebo Samuel, as we know, moved on. But do we see good things coming in which maybe they improve off of their 6-win season? Or do they stay stagnant as they did this past season and become further exposed?
I'm going to select B. That is a team that needs a techno-structural redesign. And they had a lot of off the field things happen. But I also think, to your point, YG, the jig is up with regard to Brock Purdy.
System quarterback?
I would say yes.
Willie?
Okay. I see that we only have about a minute left to go in the segment.
Now let's talk about it. I want to hear this. Let's talk about it. Tuck your cash. I want to hear this.
Okay, here we go. Real quick. Everybody's a system quarterback. Everybody. And I'm tired of people saying, well, he's a system quarterback. Okay, that's the system that he's in. What do you want him to be? Not a system quarterback? Come on. That's people say that like it's oh, you got boogers hanging out of your nose, or man, you just farted and I smell it. Don't try to deny it. Being a system quarterback is okay when you're in the right system. I don't understand. Jeez.
I understand and I appreciate that. I think the better word to use would be game manager then.
Lamar Jackson is not a system quarterback.
Oh
Willie.
my gosh.
Sorry.
There's a stark difference.
Is not a system quarterback, Willie.
There is a I think Saphr and I feel a stark difference between game manager and system quarterback. What is and what isn't. You obviously are on the other side. We will get to more of that in segment 3. Okay. So stay where you are. If you agree, disagree, we'd love to hear your input on that. The Locker Room Readout going nowhere. I'm Irie Havas, Sapphire Blue, Willie Epstein Jr. We will be back. Go nowhere on that dot.